The screen flares. A single number dominates. Not a casualty count, not a market crash. Something far more insidious. Something hidden in plain sight. This is the unthinkable, the unasked question, the truth nobody dared to touch. Until now. A new poll, a new reality. It shatters everything you thought you knew about power, about war, about who pulls the strings. A majority of Americans, 52%, they believe it. Believe that a monstrous secret, a global pedophile ring, fueled the president's decision to launch military strikes against a sovereign nation. Iran, this isn't conspiracy. This is public opinion, revealed by Dropside and Celio, a poll sponsored for Data for Progress. Nobody else would ask. Nobody else dared. The date, March 6th to March 8th. The sample, more than 1,200 likely voters. This wasn't some fringe survey. This was standard by every measure. The kind the mainstream media loves to conduct. But with one crucial difference, they asked about war support, standard fare. Then they dug deeper into Trump's true motivations, the role of Israel, and then the question, the one that sent shockwaves. Was Trump motivated, at least in part, to attack Iran to distract from the Jeffrey Epstein scandal? That's right. Nobody else is going to ask that question. But it turns out a majority of the public agrees with it. The numbers are stark. A 52-40 margin. The American people? Yes, Epstein played a part. The independent voters, the crucial swing bloc, they mirrored this perfectly. 52-40, they believe it. The very voters who decide elections, they see a connection. Republicans, the least likely to connect the dots. Yet even here, a quarter, 25% of Republicans, they acknowledge it. A shadow, a doubt. For Democrats, it's an article of faith. 81% to 14%. They believe Epstein's ghost haunted Trump's war room. Emily, in the sterile glare of the studio, sees it differently. A different darkness, a deeper current. I'm not surprised at all. But I also would have. I'm like one of the few people that just doesn't think this had anything to do with it. Because I think the administration really wanted to attack Iran. I think they really wanted to do it. A generational project. That's her theory. Since 1979. A decades-long ambition to strike at Iran. Israel, she suggests, provided the spark, the pretext, a convenient moment. It's like the culmination of a generational project since 1979. To get back at Iran, but without a clear, coherent rationale. When the reasons given feel hollow, the void fills itself with whispers, with suspicion. I think the lack of any coherent rationale fuels people's willingness to believe anything else. Because give me something and I'll believe it. And if you don't give me anything, I'm gonna go looking for answers. And the Epstein scandal, a gaping wound in the fabric of power. He begs for answers, for accountability. He provides a chilling narrative, at least in part. That phrase haunts the poll, a flicker of doubt, enough to ignite a firestorm. The screen flickers, then stabilizes on Iran's ballistic missiles. The names are wrong. The official narrative follow. This poll reveals the dark truth. The current is deeper. The whispers realer. The mainstream, they recoil. They dismiss. The Washington Post, the Anti-Defamation League, they branded. Anti-Semitic, a sinister new tactic emerges. Operation Epic Fury, the official military name, mutated, twisted, on social media, into Operation Epstein Fury. It spreads like wildfire. Or in Sega, pretty quickly after the conflict began, this conspiratorial rebranding of Operation Epic Fury into Operation Epstein Fury started circulating on social media platforms. The numbers are staggering. In just 3 days, more than 90,000 times from 60,000 different accounts on X. A digital hurricane. The Washington Post points fingers. Iran, they claim, is behind it. A calculated disinformation campaign. A psyop. And they are right. In a twisted way, Iranian propaganda has pushed this line. The Ayatollah himself hinted at pedophile Iceland before his death. An hacker outfit Honda, suspected to be linked to Iran, released Ehud Barak's emails central to the Epstein narrative. A chilling coincidence or a deliberate opening would give them the ammunition on a silver platter. The deep, festering wound of Epstein. The unanswered questions, they exploited it, and the public, starved for truth, consumed it. The war itself, Trump's military action against Iran, how did the nation truly feel? The answer is brutal and deeply, terrifyingly divided. Democrats, predictable, 92-6 against, a wall of opposition. Republicans, a surge of loyalty, 79-19 support, but then 19%, it's not nothing, a sliver of dissent, a crack in the facade. Independents, the battleground, they rejected, 60-36 against, a decisive disapproval. And this was at the very beginning, when the fog of war was thickest, but didn't matter. Did this disapproval translate into political action? The polls reveal a stark reality. For 2028 presidential candidates, supporting this war carries a heavy price.
voters, Democratic primary voters, 83% less likely, independents, 61% less likely. These numbers are a death knell for any hawkish aspirations, but for Republicans, a different story, 59% more likely. The divide deepens, an abyss opens, even within the Republican base, a quiet equating. Trump's support, while high, is down. 20% of Republicans, they might not vote for a candidate supporting the war. This isn't just about general disapproval. This cuts to the core, to the most enthusiastic supporters, the phone bankers, the sign posters, the small dollar donors. It's a seismic shift, a quiet erosion of the base.
Now, the true motivations, beyond Epstein, beyond party lines. We ask the ultimate question, was Trump pursuing this war more for American interests or Israeli interests? The overall result, 50% said American interests, 41% said Israeli interests, 50 to 41. A majority still clings to the official narrative, but look closer. That 41%, it is unprecedented, unheard of, never in American history been a war of any size, let alone this size, that a president went into, and 41% of the public thinks he did it for a foreign country. That has never happened, quite never, quite not even close. Think of every war, Vietnam, Iraq, always framed as American interests, roll back communism, fight for oil. But now, almost half the nation believes their president went to war for another country. It defies history, it defies belief. It rips apart the very notion of national sovereignty. Emily offers a chilling explanation, a fusion, a dangerous blurring the lines. My point is there are a lot of people in the American government who are saying Israeli interests and American interests are absolutely intertwined. It's the Lindsey Graham line, and the Lindsey Grahams won this argument that the American and Israeli interests are one and the same. They convince themselves, they truly believe, and beneath it all, a primal urge to bomb Iran. A generations-old desire, now unleashed, and then an incident early in the conflict, the Iran girls' school attack, an event shrouded in mystery, in official silence, in public confusion. The poll reveals a stunning ignorance. 32% had heard nothing at all. Over half, 55%, knew little to nothing. The truth, if it existed, was buried. We asked, who was responsible? The U.S. and Israel, or Iran. 24% of Americans believed Iran attacked its Polish school. An act of self-sabotage, a narrative pushed without evidence. Republicans divided. 45% blamed Iran. Another 45% pointed to the U.S. and/or Israel. 10% didn't know. A nation grappling with the truth they couldn't grasp. But the rest, the vast majority, they knew. They blamed the U.S. and/or Israel, the official story, and the impossibility. Later footage reveals a Tomahawk missile hitting an IRGC base right next to the school. The school is smoking. To believe Iran hit its own school, only for a U.S. missile to strike moments later, completely implausible. The timeline screams. Iran had not yet retaliated. They weren't even shooting. Yeah, school lies in ruins. The question hangs in the air. Who fired first? The answer is terrifyingly clear. This is the barrel of conventional wisdom, of newsrooms stabbed to public whispers, of polls designed to reinforce, not reveal. Polling so often just builds and builds in one direction. And if you don't ask other questions, you don't get answers to those types of questions. You don't test the public pulse. You don't gauge the conversations raging outside your insulated walls. Or you simply decide those conversations are crazy, not worth asking, and the truth remains buried. The war machine needed a new rationale. As the old ones crumbled, a new enemy, a new threat. Iran's ballistic missiles, long range, capable of striking Israel. This became the new justification for a prolonged conflict. How important is it to you that Iran be prevented from possessing ballistic missiles? The American people spoke, unambiguously. We did either side to 13%. They believe it is important that Iran be prevented from possessing these missiles, a near unanimous concern. Even if they don't support the war, this fear runs deep. Only 13% believe Iran had a right to self-defense, a right to its own missiles. The public is united on this one point, a vulnerability, an opening for those who seek escalation. But what happens when you introduce a name, a single polarizing figure, the face of foreign influence, Benjamin Netanyahu? The bold question changed. Was Trump more responsive to American interests, or to the interests of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu? The previous 50-41 split, favoring American interests, vanished in an instant. The public split, 47% for the American people, 46% for Netanyahu. A near-perfect divide. The accusation, once relegated to the fringe, now consumes the mainstream consciousness. Almost half of America believes Trump serves another leader, and the independents, those crucial swing voters. The numbers are crushing. 54% believe Trump is more responsive to Netanyahu. Only 44% believe he serves the American public. Fascinating. It's crazy. Yeah. Get yourself together, guys. Yeah. Oh my gosh, crazy. Unbelievable. Yet it is the truth. The public's truth. A revelation born from questions no one else will ask. This isn't just about polls. It's about power. About being levers of war. About a public losing faith in the very narratives they are fed. Starved for truth. They will look elsewhere. They will believe the unbelievable, because the official story just failed. And in that vacuum, anything is possible. The unseen forces, the unspoken motives, they now dominate the American mind. This is the cost of silence, the price of denial, and the real war. It has just begun.